Okay. Hello and welcome to the news that didn't make the news. We'll see if everyone can refrain from not positive comments this evening, or whether I need to cover the comments. Since most of you seem to be focusing on my face and or my flaws and or filters that you think I am using or not using, for that reason you're not going to see my face. The importance of what I deliver here is never about my face, the expression on my face, whether I brushed my hair today or not, whether I'm wearing makeup or not, and what you think of my appearance. So let's try it this way and see if this helps out. I don't know necessarily that it will. Oh, hello, Rennie. How are you? A long time no talk. Rennie and I had a conversation about just not even wanting anything to do with the spiritual community anymore. Like, I feel like it's been infiltrated and flipped on its head so many times. I'm not even sure what we can really do with that anymore. But nevertheless, we did have a very good chuckle about that, didn't we, Rennie? So, from the title, and untrue, and the true part being in all capital letters, maybe you can decipher that for yourself. I did tell you, I want to say around 2 weeks back, that I was on the phone having a conversation about military when the military swooped down below um, the line of houses where I was working, almost close enough to each other to crash, and almost close enough to the 3-story houses to crash. There is a big military project at hand, okay? And that military project, that military plan is to collapse and throw out the window everything within physical reality that does not work for you and I, the people, anymore. So here goes story time. First, I want to start this by saying there are all kinds of very strange things happening within physical reality for me and the limited amount of people that I speak with. So, there is a scrambling of the 3D right now. Let me start with a story, and for my own protection, I will tell you that there is no shred of evidence or proof for this story. And you decide, and you get to take it with your own consciousness. Tap into that, see where this story takes you. My mom died last year on October 23rd. And the day she died, it was just me, my younger sister, and my younger sister's partner. And we took the few things of value out of my mom's apartment the day that she died, and we had a plan on what to do with those things. Now, my mom was a person that loved costume jewelry and costume clothing. I don't want to tell you that she had a diamond vault or any kind of extensive jewelry collection by any stretch of the imagination, but she very much liked silver and stones and crystals and all of this. I'm sure that's where I got it from. But when she died on October 23rd of last year, my younger sister and I, who were there um, when she went to the other side, decided to take her jewelry box with us. And we decided then and there to take the one thing that truly had a somewhat high value in our opinion and take it to somewhere to sell the gold and split the money up between the four children. And that's what we did. So there was one piece of jewelry, expensive piece of jewelry in my mother's jewelry box when she died, that was gold. And I turned that in for money and separated it out into envelopes and gave it one for myself and one for my three other siblings. This jewelry box, since the time I sold that, has been in my car. So we sold the one piece of jewelry that was worth a lot of money. And then me and my siblings picked out something that we would like to have. And then at her celebration of life, I took the jewelry box with me and let all the children and grandchildren pick through some sort of memento out of my mom's jewelry box that they would really like to have. So there was nothing left in this jewelry box but a little crystal and what looked like a thumbprint stamp from somewhere in New Mexico that was made out of clay, and a couple safety pins. Otherwise, I wouldn't have left her jewelry box in my car since last October. So the jewelry box has been in my car since October 23rd of last year. And this year, I thought, I really should get that jewelry box out of the car. So I put it into the trunk while I was standing back there, looking through things, and I opened the jewelry box and there was a big gold chain in there, like what a rapper would wear. And I thought, well, this can't seriously be real, because it wasn't in there before. We had already taken everything out of value. If there was a big gold chain in it, you can bet your ass that I wouldn't have left my mom's jewelry box in the car. So I saw the big gold chain, dumped the contents out of the jewelry box, and took the chain into the jeweler's. To my surprise, the man handed me $900 for it, which paid my rent. Okay? Since this time, now I'm truly sure that there's nothing else of value in that jewelry box. I, like an idiot, put the jewelry box back on the floor of the car and left it in there for another 3 months. So I've been leasing a car for the last 18 years. So I've had 6 leases in the last 18 years. I've not actually ever bought a car. And recently, about 3 weeks ago, I decided to turn my lease in early because they wanted it back and buy a car instead of throwing my money out the window. So the car that I bought is actually older than the car that I was leasing was brand new. So I have to get used to the fact that it doesn't have driver's assist. It doesn't lock the same way. There are many features that are not the same. I did get a moonroof, so that was pretty amazing. But I'm telling you all this just to say that after I had taken that gold chain in and gotten $900 for it, knew unequivocally that the jewelry box had nothing but the stamp from somewhere in New Mexico and a couple of safety pins. So put it back in my car. Well, this new car doesn't lock on one tap of the lock button. It takes 2. My neighbor's car doesn't lock. The lock mechanism's been broken on her car for a really long time. And we're parked on the street because, yes, we have an awesome driveway here, an awesome parking lot, but we are not allowed to use it. So her car was unlocked and they went through it. They go through her car, I don't know, once a week, every other week, something like that. So they had gone through her car and she had knew it. When I went outside, my glove box was open. So I knew someone had been in my car, and the driver's side door was not shut all the way. Luckily, it didn't affect my battery. So I looked in my car, and I didn't see anything missing, which was kind of surprised because, I'm a landscaper and a gardener. There's power tools and shovels and crystals and copper wands and shoes and bags of spare clothes. There's all kinds of things in my car that somebody would or could take out of desperation or out of need or maybe just wanting to sell it to get money. But they didn't take anything, or at least I didn't think they took anything. So I go to work, and when I come home from work, there is a gift bag sitting on my doorstep with my mother's jewelry box in it. So apparently, when they went through my car, I guess they went through the jewelry box. You would think if you are going to be a thief and you're going to go through someone's car or someone's house and you're going to do something like that, that you would just take a like take someone's purse or take the jewelry box. Normally, that's what criminals do. And then they just throw it away later if there's nothing of value in it. However, I got my mom's jewelry box in the gift bag that was on my porch, propped behind one of my plants so that nobody could see it, brought it up to the house and opened it, and now there's another piece of gold in it. Okay, so when I say that things are crumbling and malfunctioning in your physical reality, in my physical reality, I don't just mean the things we thought would. Now, you may be new to this scenario, that there is a plan to clean up the world's corruption. But I have known this since I was 12, so that's over 4 decades now. So in order for me to believe directly in any kind of magical happening, I wouldn't believe it if it came through normal physical 3D channels. Like if Rennie sent me an article and said, oh, the reevaluation of currency is happening or something really big is happening, would I read it? Yes. I would give it that time and attention, but would I believe it? I probably wouldn't believe it because I have believed it for 4 decades and haven't seen the fruition of it. So it's very interesting how your spirit team, the souls you're connected to, and your higher self work, right? So this tells me not only am I really not ever worried about my car getting broken into and the minor things that are important, but really in the big scheme of things, not that important to me being stolen. As I mentioned, this jewelry box has been in my car since last October, and I just keep putting it back in my car, and gold just keeps appearing in it. Now, I'm assuming that the thief that opened my car and ransacked through my stuff saw the jewelry box, but somehow didn't see that there's a piece of gold on the top shelf. This time it was an anklet. How did they not see that? And I'm assuming that they just threw it into the street or the road or threw it onto the sidewalk or something, and that one of my lovely neighbors found it and put it in a bag on my step. But here's the really, really strange part. I am very unlikely to open my mail, especially as soon as it gets here, because most of the time it's just nothing but junk mail or bills that I have to pay. But when I get something from my niece Tara, I always open it immediately because she sends spectacular cards and postcards from Greece, and every time she goes on vacation, she sends me things. So not only is there a jewelry box that someone found, I guess, laying outside in the street or on the sidewalk, and they put it in a gift bag and put it back on my door, there is also in there a piece of mail that was never opened from my niece. And when I opened it, it was a big picture of us, her and her husband, and the entire wedding party. And well, this is really strange. I didn't think about this till just right now, but my mom died on October 23rd, and she was able to make it to Tara's wedding, which was on October 19th. And what I found in the car, or in the jewelry box, was a piece of mail from my niece who had gotten married in October, just 4 days before my mother passed away. And it was completely unopened, and it was just this beautiful picture of, the bride and groom and the party and all the innocent bystanders that were there, like me, the flower maker and the caterers and everything else. So what I'm saying is That person could have broke my window. That person could have taken my mom's jewelry box that, you could buy the jewelry box she had anywhere for 20 bucks, I'm sure. The jewelry box itself wasn't anything special. It was just the fact that it was my mom's. And it was just the fact that every time I put it back in the car, there becomes another piece of gold in there. And not only that, is talking about what we are manifesting, right? The box or the container or the vehicle all says the same thing, right? Or the house in symbology or even in dream symbology. That's all a representation for your body and what you are manifesting, right? And I just wanted to share that with you because I really know that we all know and we all have known that the 3D physical facade of reality would fall. Now, when I say that we have known that the 3D physical reality facade of reality would fall, I'm talking about the old banking system, the government, three-letter agencies, control, manipulation, the usurpment of humanity on this planet, right? So we knew that the banking system, the government, the three-letter agencies, and all the corruption would crumble. We knew that it was going to fall. We knew that these things would come to an end. But what I personally did not know, and maybe many of you don't know, is that while we do have physical things like houses and cars and soulmates and unicorns and books and markers and all the other things that you can see here in my surroundings, we do have physical things and we're still in a physical body, but we probably were not expecting that everyday 3D physical reality itself would drastically change. In other words, I'm sending a text message. If it wasn't meant to go through, it probably doesn't go through. If someone has emailed me and it wasn't for my highest good, it might not come through. If someone decided to, ransack my car and steal anything of value and then threw a jewelry box into the street with gold in it, you see what I'm saying? We just probably were not expecting the everyday 3D world itself would so drastically change or corrupt, or the corruption would end. We knew that. But that's exactly what's happening right now. And so I can use myself or any of you as an example. If I am trying to keep myself, or you are trying to keep yourself, or we all as a collective are trying to keep ourselves in physical situations where the energy is below the energy of your body and your consciousness, how do you think that's going to work out? Is that a higher consciousness that would, go through my car and ransack and throw my mom's jewelry box to the ground and not even know there was gold in it? Or maybe they just can't see the gold. Or maybe they just can't see the worth of some things in physical reality. And I just think I know for myself that I was not expecting the everyday 3D physical world itself to change so drastically, right? The thief is a thief. And like I've said, anytime anything's ever been stolen from me, like a purse, that's happened a couple times, they take the purse and once they find there's nothing in it or get your $5, they just dump everything that they've stolen, the purse or the box of stuff or whatever it is. They just throw it in the neighbor's trash can or throw it in a dumpster somewhere. But how is it that the person who went into my car to get something of value, even though they had the jewelry box in their hand, they didn't see that thing of they didn't see that thing of value. They didn't even see that piece of gold. So if we are trying to keep ourselves in situations where the energy is below the energy of our own body and our own consciousness, that too will crumble and fall. And that's the only reason I shared that story with you about the jewelry box and wherever that gold is coming from, because I in some aspects along the way in the last 4 years, have given up the fact that my intuition is ever correct, right? I do tarot readings as part of my living. I do red anesthesiology and all these things as a part of my living. And I have talked to people and given readings to people that were then later divorced or later came into money and later started a business and all these things just as I predicted. But the things that I have seen for myself personally for 4 years have yet to come through fruition. So the only way I'm going to believe in rainbows and unicorns at this point is if it comes through symbolically. Um, and so that's why I wanted to share the symbology of that with you. As we know, there's a lot going on, and I want to share some of the things that have been coming to me. I had every intention of sitting down to connect directly to 3i Atlas and having a communication. Today, that communication was interrupted pretty many times, and I'm usually pretty good about turning my phone on silent, even if I have it somewhere near me, when I am connecting to something or someone. And that's really important to not let little things distract you. And I will tell you that 3D conversations and 3D scheduling, because I run my own business, the scheduling, the conversation, the communication, everything has absolutely gone haywire on its head. Now, that is not the case. I've talked to Lynn, I've talked to Rennie, I've talked to several others of you, and I have no problem communicating. But again, I will go back to what I said, that while we knew the manipulation and control and usurpment and government and CIA and all three-letter agencies and banking systems, we knew those things were going to fail. We probably weren't expecting everyday physical reality itself to start failing us. Okay. And like I said, that's exactly right. What is happening right now. And if we are trying to hold ourselves in a physical situation where the energy is below that of the body and the consciousness, that too will fail. Now, I've gone into places like Walmart, and the energy can be super low in Walmart, and I've talked to you guys about this before, ran into with carts multiple times in the same trip, and people run into me and either walk away like they just nothing happened, or were just like, oh shit, I'm so sorry, I didn't even see you. But I've never been in a scenario in one physical location where I had both things happening simultaneously. You see, this is a game, or rather a rhythmic play on synchronicity, on vibration, and on frequency. I went to the pool and I was swimming laps. I think I swam 56 laps that day. And the people at 6 o'clock in the evening covering themselves in sunscreen. Now, I don't care what ethnicity you are, you don't need sunscreen at 6 o'clock. These people were spraying enough sunscreen for the whole zip code, and they were hiding under the tree, right? The fear of the sun is very big for a lot of people on the planet, I think specifically Americans. But anyway, here's the wild thing. Though I have been in situations like dance class where everyone's in a high frequency and everyone sees you and everyone's in this joyous energy, this joyous frequency, I have yet to be in a place simultaneously where both realities exist at the exact same time. So the people under the tree hiding from the sun didn't see me at all. But every single adult that was swimming laps, every single one of them talked to me about scuba diving and snorkeling and everything else, because they assumed that I was a snorkeler or a scuba diver because, I'm a mermaid who believes in unicorns. So I swim with goggles and flippers on. So these people just assumed, that I was a snorkeler or a scuba diver, and I am looking forward to that, but currently have not done either. But it was very interesting. The people that were exercising out in the sun, every one of them saw me, and the people under the trees didn't. And I mean to tell you that this was very extreme. So I had a chair and I had my backpack and, my my swim gear, my towel, everything right there leaning up against this chair. When I was done swimming laps and got out of the pool, a man walked over to my chair with all of my shit sitting right there and took the chair for his wife and went into the bathroom, because that's where they keep the chairs at the public pool, and got a chair for himself. And so he didn't notice me or my stuff. And even when I approached him and was less than a foot away from him to take my stuff, he didn't say anything. He didn't say, "Oh, I'm sorry, was this your chair?" The guy didn't even see me. I just took myself and my stuff and quietly walked away. So this might be something that you're noticing. And when I say that we have all known, whether it's for a year or 4 decades, that the system of control and manipulation and usurpment would stop, maybe we didn't realize how some of the things in 3D that weren't meant for us would start to malfunction, such as the thief who steals the jewelry box and doesn't even see the gold and just tosses it, or the kind neighbor who brings it back and puts it in a gift bag and hides it behind my plants so that someone doesn't steal it again. There is a plan to end the corruption, and this plan to end the corruption has been there forever. Hello, Remington. Hello, Donovan. How are you? So let's talk about that plan for a moment. So basically the plan has been for a very long time, let's say at least the 80s, is to put a plan in place that tears apart the Tower of Babylon, that tears apart the control, that tears apart the manipulation, that tears apart the usurpment of planet Earth and returns the Earth back over to the meek. The meek shall inherit the earth. That plan has been in action for a really long time. And we keep having these really, really incredible things that are happening that maybe some of you are aware of, and maybe some of you are not aware of. And that's where 3i Atlas comes in. And this part of the story is why the video is titled An Untrue Story. There's your honk for confirmation. This part of the story is very important, and I am incredibly protected. There isn't anything in my physical reality that shows me otherwise. But that is why this video is titled The Untrue, true in all capital letters, story, is so that I may hold on to my protection. Do you know why 3i Atlas showed up on the 1st of July? Because I told you in a video just a couple weeks ago, I heard military boots stomping behind me in a really large presence, and I knew there was nobody there on that landscaping job, but I still turned around to make sure anyway. And sure enough, there wasn't. But less than 30 seconds later, when I made it to the other side of the house, there were 2 unidentified, unrecognizable aircraft that were military. And I made an entire video about that. 3i Atlas came into the radar, showing up in the telescopes on the 1st of July on 2025. And the reason for this was because there was a plan that was beyond the comprehension of most human souls, that was extremely destructive to planet Earth and its inhabitants. I would wager even to say that was specifically planned for the 4th of July, because they have been planning things on the 4th of July all the way back since, I want to say 2018, but it could have been 2017. I did make a video on Facebook, and on the 3rd of July, 2018, and I told you I saw plasmatic weapons under the shelf and that they were getting ready to fire them, and the message was red, white, and boom. And the next day, the 4th of July, China Map, which is the biggest military installation in the United States, was blown off the map. So 3i Atlas showed up on July 1st of 2025 because of the plan that was beyond the comprehension of most of us, and it involved the destruction of Earth and humanity, and it was set for the 4th of July. Now, today, because I had multiple things going on, and I've decided that when I was really having the struggle of 3D things falling away, it was to the point where I was spending many hours or multiple messages trying to get things straight with people, and communication was hard. And I looked at the last 40 days of my life and saw that I'd only taken 5 days off, and I decided I was on vacation. So I'm on vacation, and that started Monday, and I'll probably be on vacation until Thursday or Friday. So if you're looking for a reading, this is a really opportune time because I'm not doing any landscaping or any hard work. So it's very easy for me to do those things. When I connected today to 3i Atlas, I noticed that there were several beings. I don't know what you want to call them. They looked as a projection like a human, just like the rest of us. I will say, like the admiral or the commander or whoever he was kind of dark complected with dark hair. I couldn't pinpoint the ethnicity, and it really looked like a mix. But suffice it to say that on board this ship, there are multiple beings that you and I can connect with. There's also a cosmic intelligence there, and I could read that cosmic intelligence, but I would describe that more like a computer interface. Now, if you're thinking of like AI or ChatGPT or something like that, you would be similar technologies, but the frequency is way above that. So there are people, if you want to know why they're here, what they're doing, or maybe you just want to chat with them about whatever you want to chat with them, there are multiple people aboard that ship to connect with, and there's a cosmic intelligence there, like a computer interface that you can pull information from. Now, again, as I said, the frequency is much higher than like an AI interface or ChatGPT or something like that. The interface on this ship, and I didn't see anything other than commander. The rest of it was just feeling. But the interface on the ship feels like the Akashic record. Maybe it's just connected to the Akashic record, and it's not the Akashic record, but the system that I connected with to discuss and retrieve answers had the same frequency as the Akashic records, or it was just connected somehow to the Akashic record, or maybe, and this is what came in lastly, the Akashic record is there on the ship for this time as a mode of protection. Now, if you're new to this channel, you have probably no clue about this reference. But in February or March, I made an entire video, which I cannot believe more people didn't watch, because it was so freaking important. And it was all about how CERN was not trying to discover the God particle or anything like that. What their modus operandi, how do you say that? Modus operandi was the entire time was not to discover it or how it works, but to copy it, okay? And so what they had done is copied the Akashic record, right? Because They, just like you and I, cannot access anything in the Akashic record that we are not a vibrational frequency match to. But if someone could create a system, an artificial intelligence that was a mock-up of that system of the Akashic record, then that means anybody by voice command or anybody by keys on a keyboard could get whatever they wanted to do, right? And that whole video was about Ghost in the Machine. So was it the Akashic record that I saw, that I felt, that I connected to? Or maybe it was just somehow connected to it, or maybe the Akashic record physically, symbolically, energetically, etherically is being housed on 3i Atlas right now for protection. And could this be the ghost in the machine that I've been talking about for the last couple months? And I do apologize if I was a tech savvy person, I could attach that video. I think that was the most important video that I have ever done. And almost nobody saw that. Okay, so we do know, and we have known for some time, that the reality of control, manipulation, and usurpment was going to be taken down. Whether you found out yesterday or 2 decades ago, it doesn't matter. But what I am saying to you, and the whole reason I relayed this jewelry box story, was because even if something is in front of you in 3D, like me standing at the pool with all of my shit by the chair, yet people don't see me, right? But the people in the water swimming lap after lap after lap after lap, what does that do? That raises your frequency. And it put us all in the same frequency band where we could all see each other and conversate. But the people that, I don't know why, if you're going to put on sunscreen at 6 p.m. and hide under a tree and you're not even going to swim, I'm not sure why you would even go to the pool. I mean, these people didn't even have kids. It wasn't like, they were watching their kids swim while they were hanging out under the tree. Like the thief who took the jewelry box and didn't see the gold. Like the person at the pool that didn't see me, or the person that ran into me in Walmart on 5 different occasions in one Walmart visit that didn't see me. There are things in your reality that you are not going to see if they're not your frequency. Okay? Apparently the frequency of gold was too much above this thief's register. And if he'd been an old-fashioned type of thief and would have just taken the whole jewelry box and whatever else he found and tossed it in the dumpster later, he would have gotten the gold. But he didn't. He relied solely on his eyes to scan and see, oh, there's nothing good here, and just throw it on the ground. Meanwhile, there's a piece of gold in there. So it's very, very interesting how this is going on and how this is playing out. Now, 3i Atlas is here for many, many reasons. And the people that have been with this channel since 2016 know that in 2016, I think around December, early first week in December, I was told that my new future mission was Galactic Liaison. Now, for some reason at that time, 9 years ago, I really thought that meant like I was going to have direct connection with the spaceship, or maybe the spaceship was going to land in my neighbor's yard. I don't know what I thought. I'd never heard that term Galactic Liaison before. But I assure you that I thought it somehow involved speaking with a higher intelligence and being a liaison, meaning relaying the message back to humanity. But I can tell you most assuredly, and I have had those kind of conversations on and off, but if you followed this channel for the last few years, you know that my mom and I had a personal attack on our lives, and I've had multiple, and the commander of that ship in 2021 said contact with that ship was over. But that's what I thought Galactic Liaison was going to mean, speaking with galactic intelligence and relaying that message here on this channel, even though I didn't have any channel in 2016. So I come to later assume that that meant reading energy, because what I do is read energy, whether that's the sun or your neighbors or the collective consciousness of humanity, or maybe I'm reading the plan of nefarious individuals. That's what I've been bringing to you. So I have not tried to connect to any kind of cosmic humans or conscious connection to humans outside of this realm, since those couple of things have happened. So today was actually the first time. Now, I started connecting to 3i Atlas a little over a week ago, when I saw it sitting in front of the sun and I saw how big it is, and immediately I went in there to connect with it. So I'm telling you, if you're interested in that, or any information regarding that there are people there that you can have conversations with, or you can tap into that super intelligent highway access Akashic record of information, whichever thing that you want, whatever brings you joy, whatever brings you fascination. Now, I will tell you this. We already know for sure that, well, what I saw today was that you can connect to the humans, or that computer system, that higher intelligent mind Akashic record connection. But if you are looking at it as a scientist who is open, you are going to get something different than a scientist who is closed off. If you're looking at it through a telescope and you expect it to be one thing, it could show up as that one thing. The person sitting 10 feet away from you looking into a different telescope, who expects a different thing, who is expecting a different outcome, will get a different outcome. Okay? This thing is holographic. If you want it to look like a rock, it'll look like a rock. If you want it to look like a ship, it'll look like a ship. Now, I didn't see it per se as a rock or a ship or anything else. It's the energy that I felt coming from this. So this thing looks like a little rainbow in the sky, essentially. Rainbow colored dots that I associate almost like a frequency keyboard. If you've ever sat down to play the piano, you have the white keys, the regular keys, and then you have the sharp keys, which are black. This is along those same lines of technology, but much more advanced, where there are different colors, okay? So there are, and they know this through color therapy, like you can use red for a certain thing. You can use red light for a certain thing. It has a shorter wavelength, but you can use that to heal things. There is also a note that comes with the color red, just like there's a note that comes with orange and yellow and green, full spectrum healing. So while this thing looks like a giant cigar or kind of cigarette shaped thing in the sky with multiple colored balls in it, because more than anything, it is there to use that color therapy, to use that sound frequency to tune things up, not only on this planet, but also in this universe. Now, I could probably delve into this and make a 3-hour video, which I don't think is a good idea, because the longer videos don't seem to get out. But yeah, anyway, so the biggest reason, the majority of the reason that this is there, that this planned on coming at this time on July 1st of 2025, is because essentially it's a highly advanced organ or a highly advanced piano, where they can hit certain notes, play frequencies, change frequencies, tune things. Think about getting a tune-up for your car, right? with that machine, whatever they use, mechanics use. This is the same thing, but it's a planetary tune-up. It's a cosmic tune-up for this section of the universe. Now, I don't know if, they showed up early because they can read everything. Specifically, this is all part of the plan, and this has been planned out for I don't know how long. And we're not just talking about the plan that started in the 80s. I think this is something that goes back thousands of years. I think that this ship, shows up at 3-Eye Atlas is the name that I guess NASA or somebody give it because it's the third interstellar object, and it was detected by the NASA telescope, I believe. That is not the name that it actually goes by. And I don't know that I should share that name that it gave me with you. But either way, it came in for a tune-up, right? It came in to tune the Earth and the cosmos and the planets and everything else. Now, I will tell you that the energy of this thing is really strong. It could possibly redirect the moon. I have been having visions since 2018 about an energy that came in that actually created some sort of wormhole or black hole. Again, not a scientist, not a quantum physicist. I'm just giving you to the best of my ability here. This is an energy that is strong enough to pull the moon out of orbit. Now, I'm not sure that that is the intention, but I had made a video about that in 2018, and someone told me that went along with the Hopi prophecy talking about the blue Kachina and the red Kachina. We always have the same North Star, but every however long there is in that interim between, sometimes they do flip, and when they flip, that causes a huge energy. So this is something that just comes through here and does a tune-up. I don't know how often it shows up, but the ship itself, the Akashic record, the commanders were all aware that there was some sort of catastrophic plan for the 4th of July. And so maybe they came in early, or maybe they showed up just in time. Maybe they knew. I don't know. But I wanted to share that with you. That which does not resonate with my life, with your life, with our lives, with the general consciousness of the collective has been falling away for a really long time. But right now what I'm saying is it's impossible to ignore that client that you just can't get on the same page with. Or that partner who doesn't truly see who you are, or whatever it is for you. This is everything goes out the window times 2, okay? It is a total transformation of our planet, of our world, and life as we know it. And more than anything else, this is a reset back to zero, and maybe not the aspects of a reset that you have in mind, but a reset that is so big that it encapsulates or encaptures everything you knew to be the reset. Everything, everywhere, all at once has been the theme coming through these videos for the last 4 months. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time. Bye.